Hey everyone, welcome back to the pit. It's Sunday afternoon, October 8th. We're getting farther on into the year. I'm going to just get you guys somewhat caught up. Is what I've been doing. The videos, I know that there's kind of piecemeal edited together, so there's not much in the way of me doing actual work because this is stuff that is just beating me up. It's the final, it's the primping before we get ready to cover it. Alright, kind of sort of where we're at now. The wings. The wings, they're just a final little touch-up. They're going to, I'm looking for something, and here we go. The wings need a couple little touch-ups. I'll show you really quickly. Ailerons, ready to cover. So those are complete, ready to go. The rudder, right here, rudder, complete. Final sanded out, ready to cover. The elevator, fully ready to cover. So we are getting there. It's going to happen a lot quicker, hopefully. Hang on, I got to touch something. I bumped the button on the screen. Alright, here's the wing. I've got a couple little pieces, a couple little spots that there was just a little bit of low. You can see I did a final dressing on that. So all that where you see the little teeny bits, that was all saw marks, not from me, from the original builder. So this little piece on the wingtip right here, that's got to get done. This here was a finalized. You can see I've got one last little thing to do on that. A couple little spots done, ready to go. I just got to get the craft paper. You might have seen some gray on the plane. When you look at the plane from the back, it just shows a lot of wood. Now, I painted up, I mixed a special batch of paint. And what I'm doing is I'm painting everything so when you look through the doors, when you're going to be looking through the doors and look through the front windscreen all the way back, you're going to see the gray framework painted. So that's why I'm not worried about what it looks like from this direction, just the one direction. This up on top of the spruce, anywhere I hit and splotch some paint on it that I don't want there, I'm just going to go ahead and sand it off. That's why with the spruce I can do that. With the balsa it just makes it tough. Like this was a little bit of an error. This should not have been painted. So I'm just going to go ahead and just scuff the paint off on it. This is all ready to go. And this used to be, even though it looked gray, it was more of a greenish color. So when you look at that green and this blue, when I first started painting the gray on there, it looked blue. So when I say the green and the gray, it made the gray look blue. So anyway, you know, from time to time, it kind of still does almost look bluish. But it is gray. Which I didn't even look to see how it's going to look next to the orange. Yeah, it looks gray. Alright, so when I come back here, I've got to go ahead, because the bottom's ready to go. All I need to do is just, I'm gonna be painting this gray on the inside here too. So that way when you see through the clear plastic, you're going to see gray framework and the connectors. So just going to be an inspection cover. Alright, this piece here, although this is for the other side, but you'll get the idea. So what this is going to do is this is going to come in and get attached such as this. And you know what? This might actually be the proper side for it. I didn't mark it, but this might be the right side for it. So what I'm going to do is I've got to come up here and make a little standoff that will get glued into place once I attach the elevator. Because this is going to be covered, so this will be covered, this won't be covered. So I'm going to have the horizontal stabilizer already covered. I'll have the rudder covered, the elevator covered. Those are going to be the first things I'm probably going to be covering. Will be either the elevator, or the rudder, or the ailerons. Just I got to get practice. It might be the rudder. So that this will get covered. Then I'm going to go ahead and drop the elevator in here, attach it. Then I've got to come in and do this, because this is going to be just by itself. It's going to, there are bugs. This is going to come down and then it's going to go across the edge, and there will be a seam probably right in here somewhere. Let me angle down. There'll be a seam right in here somewhere. So this will get glued down, and then when this top piece comes on, it's going to come back and it's going to terminate here, so it'll overlap. And then if I just got to put a little bit of filler in, got to pay attention where the camera's pointed. If I got to put a little bit of filler in here, that'll be fine. So not that big of a deal. But like I said, this is almost ready to go. So this, once this gets in place, I'm going to drop this down farther. I'm gonna modify this one a little bit because I'm not happy with the way they did it, but I'll modify it a little bit. So it'll work nicely, regardless. Even if it was standing off a little bit, that'll still be fine. So anyway, guys, we're getting close. We are getting closer. It's just that I forgot I painted that side, but I didn't paint this side. So we're getting closer. You know, is it going to be ready to fly this year? I honestly, I don't think so. Unless we get some miraculous weather coming up, because I have Saturdays and Sundays off now, so doing it during the week is going to be really difficult. So even if I was able to start covering next week, I could probably have a lot of stuff ready to cover, or partial covers by next Saturday and Sunday. If I can have that done, even though you're not going to see this until probably after, because it's the way I edit videos. Hopefully I gave you a little bit of a heads up in one of the emails that I sent out to the normal group of 200 plus people. Anyway, it might make it up this year. It might not. It's the way things are going. Probably not. It's of course, this stuff's taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and that's standard issue. Whenever you think that you're going to be taking 2 steps forward, you're taking 3 or 4 steps back. So, hey everyone, welcome back to the Shop of Poor Lighting. It's October 14th, Saturday. It's raining outside. We're back to that same old stuff again. So I'm going to try to get the final prep on the fuselage done today, so I can start covering tomorrow, because the wings are done, ailerons, the tail. This is what I've got to finish up, this little section. And I think I gave you a heads up in one of the little videos, because I'm just piecemealing everything together. I've got to make adjustments back here so that I can have little covers fit in. So, and I've got to hook up the control serve to control. I still got a lot of stuff to do just to get that tail section done. The rest of the fuselage up front, that's all done, ready to rock. I still have to finish up the control panel, but that's something that can be finished up after it's covered. That's no big deal. So anyway, my plans today, I'm going to work on the tail. I got to do the first. First coat, the only coat of, here's what I'm doing. You can kind of see that I've got, and it's gray that's painted, and I made the gray myself. I put a little bit of cobalt blue in there just to give it a little bit more of a gray color, instead of just kind of like anyway, big mistake. And ended up giving it a little bit of too much blue in there. So what I'm going to do, because I've got to paint these up front, I'm hoping you can see, paint these up front in black. That's the way they were on the real plane. So what I'm going to do is I went over to Hobby Lobby, not on a Sunday of course, and got a whole bunch of black craft paint. So I'm just going to, everything that I painted blue is going to get painted black today, and then I got to paint this section back here. So I've got to paint only up to here black. I could probably leave it here, because when I was looking through the front all the way into black, and I'll just, seeing that I got to come in and paint anyway, I'll just paint this back here, but I don't have to be as accurate up to this point. So when you look at it from the back going forward, you don't see paint. It's only the paint that you can see looking through the fuselage, because once this gets covered and painted, you won't see back there anyway. You'll just be able to see through the windows to the back. and it does look neat. So I'll show you now what it looks like, because once I paint everything black inside there, you might not be able to see it as well. But when you look through the front to the back, all you see is gray. So it looks just like the inside of a real aircraft. And when you look forward from the back, you see just paint. So that is so that's my goal for today. Get this stuff done first. That's about an hour and a half's worth of work to get the painting done. I'm hoping within about another hour or so I can have that tail ready to go. I can't finish this. I can't put these pieces in till after this all gets covered and I get the elevator on. I've professed this many times. Until I get that elevator on, I can't finish this off. So that's where it's going to be. That's the last piece of the pie. If I can have that stuff all ready to drop in today, then this ready to cover. So I'm hoping that this covering is gonna start very soon. So all right, let me as you can see, I had to open up this door that has not been opened up in I don't know how long to get stuff in. I had to pull stuff out of the shop. As you can see, this area is pretty full too. So this would have been a nice area to paint in, to cover / paint. So I got to see if I can work that into the mix somehow. So anyway, yeah, we're back in a tiny shop again. So let me get you back up in the stand. I'll start painting, and who knows? Maybe there'll be a music video. You never know. There it is, bad lighting again. See, we're back in the shop. All right. I got the doors. Got one coat, and they're looking pretty good on the doors. Like I said, everything is just going to be. I got to get it over here for you to see it. But anyway, I just got to put one coat on this stuff, so I'm waiting for this to fully dry. But for right now, that's what they're going to look like. And then it's going to have the plastic on the front, around the outside of it, and then I'll come in, tape it, spray this orange, and then how the stripe is going to come across. So this piece here, the plastic, will be taped, so this will be painted over orange as well. And then mount them up and keep your fingers crossed nothing bad happens with them. So alright, let's get to painting. La música, la música! Everyone, welcome back to the shop. It's Sunday morning, October 15th, and I kind of cut you guys out of the video recording for the paint job. The paint job ended up taking about 3.5 hours. It takes longer than you think it's going to take. And I'll give you a little. I'll kind of show you. You can kind of see from this side. You look at it; it looks pretty dirty. Like it was not a very good job painting. This is all going to be covered. You're not going to see any of this little splotch marks coming off the side. And this stuff I did a test as to what's going to happen when the nitrate dope hits it. And what it ended up doing with it was very nice. It penetrated it, and it helped and actually made it bond better to the wood than nothing at all. So I'm going to sand these down anyway to get as much off as possible. But let's see if you can see. Yeah, it's like this little area right in here. These little pieces here, I'm sanding those down a little bit and then throwing some more dope on it and then doing a final sand down so they're nice and smooth. I put in a new cross beam up here because this one, I got to cut some balsa and glue it in, and then I'll just do a couple of dabs. I got to paint this and then paint the bottom of it too. But it was too long of a span. It's probably 10-11 inch span, and it was really loose and had a tendency to want to push down. So now I'll lock it into place and then I'll have to worry about it. But anyway, let me show you, because once again, this is the side that just doesn't look that pretty. But this is what it's designed to do, is that when you look down inside, that's all you see is the framework. So, and you can see that one piece of wood up in the top, way back in here, that I've got to paint. So it just goes to show you how much this, it makes it look, kind of makes it look like a real airplane in a way. So let me get everything set up. I want to repaint that first, and while that's drying, I'm going to get set up on a tail. And I'll show you where I'm at with the, let's just call them the little plastic window thingies. Alright, I got the front end all painted up, piece is done drying, and now I had to bring my little LED light fixture back because we just don't have enough light here. Alright, here is what I've done on the tail end. Let me get my template. I'm still kind of up in arms on, do I want to make two separate pieces? Here's my little template for the bottom. So this will fit up inside here just like this. Remember, this is going to be clear plastic and then painted on the outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to see through here to see the connections. And if we need to get in the back, if I need to get in the back because something's starting to loosen up, I can do it without having to cut the covering. Do I do it with it just one piece on the bottom and one piece on the top? Or do I make it all one piece? That's kind of where I'm stymied at right now. Let me get another scrap piece of cardboard. Alright. So, here's the other pieces of cardboard I've got that I originally was setting it up for the top piece, on how wide I wanted the top piece and how it was going to fit in. But if I make it so that it works in with the bottom piece, it can come in, have a nice U cut out here, and I can readjust this bottom piece here in the tail so that it just looks nicer. But I can have it so that it comes in and swings over here. Now, of course, I still have to have the little openings for it to slide in, but I think the plastic, I should be able to get it enough to flex to work. So that's kind of sort of where I'm at right now. Two pieces or one piece? One piece would be nicer. Alright, I'm having all fun with the cameras this morning with the lights. Because if I turn off the lights, there's what it looks like. So, thank you LED. Alright, after about an hour Yes, it took about an hour. I made a template. And it's got to do with all the goofy angles that this thing encompasses as you're putting it together. So it took about an hour, and it fits very nicely, and it slides on very easily. So I will be making these out of one piece. That way I could probably get by with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, maybe 12 screws per side. Because if you look at the originals, just on the top, if I can find it, which I can't, it was probably about 8 screws for each aluminum piece. I'll find out. Regardless, because I was going to have one on the top and one on the bottom, it's not that I'm saving the screws, it's just that this is going to be one piece on each side, and I'm hoping it'll look good when it's all done. So let me bring you back over here. Alright, so first thing I did was I made this little piece on the bottom. You can see on the back side how everything's cut out. So I made this little piece on the bottom. I didn't trim it the final shape, but that ended up sliding up on the, pay no mind to this top piece. That ended up sliding up on the top here. I had to make little blocks of wood too that are going to get glued into place. So anyway, here's the way it fit on the bottom of this. So, and I've got it set up so that there's clearance. You know, there's more than what needs to be done. I just wanted to make it, you know, round. So, regardless, this will all be painted black inside anyway. So, but this came up, and then I struck a line up that was parallel with the trailing edge of the vertical stabilizer. So then once this was, I clamped this into place. Then I came up, got my angle on the top piece, so that it was in accordance with the vertical line. So I got that taken care of. Then I made these little pieces. I cut these little pieces out, and then just as filler between two, and then hit them with some thin CA. So this little piece isn't going anywhere. And then because I had a gap here that I wanted to, you know, make I had to fill in the gap. So I cut a little strip, put it in there, and then lo and behold, the perfect little piece to trace around was the same stuff that I'm using for the wing tube. So it worked out very nice. I had to size it up a little bit bigger, but it was at least a good spot to start with. So these you can't put it on with, well, you can, you just got to slide it in a certain way. With the elevator up or down, it slides on and off very easily. So my little concern is gone. So that's going to be the piece for that. This little piece will get eventually glued in place up on the top side, so that'll be an attachment point. And then this piece here is already cut out. I decided to remove the whole piece of the vertical stabilizer, so I'll glue it back in, have to refinish it. I wasn't happy with the job there anyway. So this piece will slide in here, and then this will slide right up to about chaw, and then that'll get glued back in place. So when this is covered and this is covered, before it comes time to cover the fuselage, this little block will be glued up into place. Let me get the little thing. So this piece will be glued up into place and then sanded to fit. And then once that's put in place, then I'll take this piece, because it's already cut, I just have to glue it into place, sand it down, couple, you know, a bunch of coats of dope, nitrate dope on those things, and then a final sand and a cover. So this is we are getting close. Now back to me again. I in the earlier part of this video I said I'm hoping to start covering today, Sunday. I got called into work today, so I've got about another half hour here, because it's 10 to 8. So I got maybe another hour, and then I got to go run off to work. Then I got to go up to Woodstock after work. So there will be no covering today. So that's the unfortunate side, because it kind of, you know, work called. I need money. So because I've got this thing, this squatter at my house, that keeps sucking up my money. so so I got to no, actually that's I've got almost everything that I need. Any little bit that I have left to spend on this one will be maybe another couple cans of spray paint. I know I've got to get black spray. I may have to get another couple cans of the orange, the Mandarin orange. I'll see how things start progressing on my initial spray, because if you happen to go back and look at that video that I did of that quarter scale cub that I built, there's one picture I took when I was spraying on, and I had sprayed the wing, and that was done. I sprayed the fuselage, and when I put the wing on the fuselage, you'll notice that the little piece of the forward part of the fuselage over the cockpit, it looks like a gray white. That was 2 different batches of Krylon. That was no, did I use Krylon in that one? Yeah, I did use Krylon. That was 2 different batches of Krylon, and the second batch was a little bit gray. So I ended up having just a little bit of that white left from some old cans. And I came in and just shot that one piece, because that's the only piece that you're... Sorry about that. We got some nasty winds outside, and we got, I think, a garbage can blowing by. All right. It's Chicago. And so anyway, I had some old cans, and I sprayed one, and I got one of the cans matched. So I wasn't worried about the rest of the fuselage, because you don't have the 2 colors, you know, abutting each other. So, but that's the thing, is that's my only fear on this, is that is the wings. When the wings come up against the fuselage, that the colors gotta match. So I'm gonna see how everything starts spraying out in the beginning, because I'm gonna do the wings first. But what I may do is I may spray with the batch I'm spraying the wings with. I may not only just spray the wings, I may try to spray the wings. It's going to be tough. I'd like to spray the wings and then the top of the fuselage. Or we'll just hope and pray that things are going to be good. So anyway, enough of me babbling. I've got to just do a couple other little things here. There's really not too much else to do on this thing. Really, there's really not too much to do before I start covering. I just need to do a final sand down. I don't know if you can see on the side of this thing, you can still see that the saw marks on the side of the fuse up here. So I'm going to put some fill in there, because that will translate through the covering. So I'm going to do these little bits. I've got some little things, fill here. I had to throw some fill on the fuselage because some big bald idiot decided to poke a screwdriver into the side of it twice.